After getting out of your last bid and you hit the streets again, is that when things started to change in terms of the type of business that you're doing on the streets?
Well, to back it up a little bit, when you're talking about Lawton, right? That's when we came to the conclusion that what we were going to do when we get on the street. I mean, a lot of what you're asking me, it's written in the book Lawton Legends, and basically the book is based on me and a lot of other guys. So but it was there that we formed that bond. That what we were going to do when we get out.
Okay, and that focused on the drug trade.
On the drug trade.
And at the time, this was heroin.
Yeah, heroin.
Okay, so how did you first start getting into the heroin trade at that point?
Well, I mean, it was prevalent prior to me even actually getting into it, so I always knew about it, and when we started hearing certain guys and younger guys that were really getting some money while we were in, it was something that we really wanted to kind of like sample, So we started, me and a couple guys started off with $750, and we stayed in DC for a while. Then we went to like Buffalo, New York, and stayed up there about 6 months or something like that, and came back with a whole lot of money, So we decided to stay in DC after we got back and continue what we were doing.
Right, and at one point, you guys actually controlled the biggest share of the heroin trade in DC.
Yeah, that is true. But that's definitely true. But you also had guys that were equally successful and controlling as we were, So I mean, it was just so much money at that time, so much. I mean, so many things to do, a lot of drugs, that that was just something that we wanted to sample.
Well, allegedly, you guys are bringing in $500,000 a month.
Well,
allegedly.
But to be honest with you, I mean, that's far less than what it actually really was. That was in one particular neighborhood. I mean, one particular spot that they were talking about, But it might have been $4 or $5 million a month.
So at that time, how much money were you bringing in a big month?
Okay, let's put it this way. Like on a bad day, we were bringing in, say, like maybe $60,000 or $70,000 per day. Monday through maybe Thursday, Sunday through Wednesday, Thursday through Saturday, we might bring in $75,000 or $80,000 a day.
Okay, so $80,000 a day, multiplied by 30 days, you're bringing in $2.5 million a month. And if you have some big days, that could go up into $4 or $5 million a month.
Yeah, we had days where we sold. I mean, that was just a an assessment of what we were bringing in a month. But actually, I mean, if like I said, like on really good days, we can make $80,000, $85,000, $90,000 a day. That was on good days, like especially like the 1st and the 15th. It varied actually.
Yeah. Okay. Now, to move that type of weight, where were you guys getting it from?
Well, I mean, I really don't want to go into where we were getting it from, but I had met some people,
Okay.
And they seen what we could do, and we went from there.
Okay. I assume it was overseas somewhere?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't overseas, but it was in the United States.
Okay.
But I mean, I really don't want to get into names
Okay.
Fair
enough. Fair enough. Well, when it comes to the heroin trade, it's not like marijuana where things are relatively mellow. When you have these guys who need a fix, they will kill whoever they need to kill in order to get that heroin. And the drug trade itself is pretty treacherous. So during that time, what was the worst things you were having to deal with in terms of protecting your business?
Well, I mean, it depends on who you were. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we had security, period, but that was my least worry. Somebody robbing me, those sort of things, maybe some of the other guys that wasn't as secure, or guys didn't, because people really treat you and do things to you based on the way they see you or feel about you, So we didn't have that problem.
Okay, now what about the police? Were you paying off police?
No, in DC it was completely different. The DC police, yeah, some of them that might have been dirty, but as far as what you see on TV where they was shaking guys down, that didn't happen. They either arrested you or left you alone.
Okay. Well, as you're building up this money, your lifestyle starts getting bigger.
Right.
You bought a yacht, you had a couple houses, you had a bunch of cars.
Mm-hmm.
What was some of the craziest things that you were buying at your height?
I wanted to get everything that I wasn't supposed to have, and I think the boat was probably the biggest thing that I had really got at that particular time, but cars and stuff like that, they came, so fast. I mean, I was buying cars like guys were buying shoes,